Greetings to you. This is Brother Salih representing the Zep Tepe Institute once again. And I guess I'm putting this one out here this morning, right? Because I want to try to help people understand the significance of the new mind that is coming. And this new mind is based on, in my view, that it has come down to us through the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and the way it connects back to our ancestors and the spiritual systems that existed amongst us then. I mean, it appears, if my studies show me, that the relevance of time is that you can actually trace back in time the coming forth of people that we might call prophets or seers or visionaries, or they got a bunch of names for them, but they come and they influence the culture. They influence what is going to manifest in the minds and in the hearts of people by, I guess, laying down some type of foundational understanding that may not have been present before or conscious before. So I believe that we're in a time when this system that we're in is going to collapse and fall, and something new is going to be born in its place. And I firmly believe that the ex-slave in America is the people who are going to bring forth the next mind. That they are the people who are the ones that's counted out. They are the ones who this divine and creative mind will return to first. And through them, a new dispensation, a new culture, a new society, a new theme, a new identity, a new ideal of reality will be born. Okay, so, and how does this connect? It connects because in the process of time, earlier we talked about the 25,000 year, it's really 25,800 and some years. We rounded off and say 26,000 years. That's called the Great Year. And you can see it in all of the calendars and the history and the symbolic philosophies that's been left by every great civilization. That understanding of the electromagnetic field in which we have our being and how it is influenced by the spheres around it and the placement of those spheres, and I guess the effect on the field. Now, according to my understanding, we're coming into the Zep Tepe. We're coming into a time when the man and the God are linked. The scripture describes it as God would dwell amongst men and be their God. You know what I mean? We're coming into this time when the barrier between the mind of man and that of the divine is removed. And when that happens, the creative intelligence, I mean, I'm talking about insights into the nature of reality will, I mean, come forth to such a degree that our advance will just skyrocket, not only just in technology and all that, but in our own physiological makeup and being. Now, the trance state that I've been focusing on quite a bit, it is really how you learn to bring balance to your metabolism, bring balance to every aspect of your being. At the same time, actually increase or enhance the power of your personal being, that which you generate, that aura and that force that comes from you. And if you go back and you see amongst Asian cultures, you'll see that, you know, about the chakras, and you'll see about Kundalini and all these different pieces. You'll find them in all the different civilizations. And unfortunately, what people do is they'll take a piece over here and that one will take a piece over there, and they'll claim to say this is all it is, and that one will claim to say that's all it is. And they'll actually even fight over it when in reality, everybody got a small piece. And the wise man is the one that's going to bring them all together and see how they fit. And then the complete knowledge will be reborn in the culture. It's been a long time. I mean, right now, I personally believe that most of the advances of technology that we have now has been the result of some crash of a UFO. You know, our peoples that are still here watching what's going on, right? But the internal growth of the human being has been a long time coming. We've had a few people come through and demonstrate for us what an advanced human being may look like. But for the most part, as masses of people, we have not done very well. I mean, you know, honestly, right? So, and I'm speaking as a person. I did 27 years in prison. Been on all sorts of drugs. I've been involved in all kinds of craziness, right? So, I'm not speaking from a judgmental point of view, but I'm speaking from the point of view of humanity and the weight and burden that's been on it as a result of the affairs in the minds that have been ruling the world. So once again, I am Brother Salih, and I represent the Zep Tepe Institute, and we're building Muhammad Has the Keys self-knowledge broadcast or podcast. And it's really about trying to help people understand the theology of time that was taught by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and how that relates to the mechanisms of the human being. Now, one last point. Imagine if the earth, when it is spinning and it goes around and for so many hours it faces the sun, so the sun's rays and heat and all that is directly on it, and then for so many hours it goes and a part of the earth is now away from the sun and it experiences the cool, moist, opposite force. That polarity is the energy that is actually producing the motion of the planet. That's why the planet is spinning, and that's why the planet is moving around the sun. And all of that is connected to all the energy that is bringing creation into being. A lot is in the teachings about creation coming from the source of itself, self-creation, coming from the source of itself and then manifesting. I mean, even if you look at the modern models of science, they talk about this explosion in space where all this stuff comes out of no thing. When you look in the expanse of space in the darkness, you know, Hubble has showed us all this material out there that's becoming suns and becoming everything that exists in the universe. So everything is self-creating. Everything comes from the source of itself. And that's important knowledge to have about your own self. And in the same way that everything is affected by the cycle or the alternating forces, you know, our being is also affected by that. I mean, so our body goes through a cycle of, like in the day when the heat and the dry and the light comes and the cool moistness and darkness comes. And in that rhythm is where we have our being, and our internal being is tied to that. Now, your breath rate is like a dial that could tie you in to, I mean, many different dimensions of your being and consciousness. So this is the ultimate point, how to use this knowledge, not only to connect and allow the creative being to manifest through you, and let that intelligence manifest through you, but also to demonstrate and to produce those things in the earth that the time dictates. Yahweh Muhammad used to say, always use the phrase, the time and what must be done. And that's why it's so important to be able to understand scripture and look in the prophecies and have an understanding of what has to come about, or those forces that are going to come to play. Because it's in that understanding that you'll know what to bring forth. If you bring forth that which is in due season, it can't really be stopped. It's going to come forth. You know, and to be able to be taught from the inside, I'm talking about to have revelation and inspiration that comes to you, it is like the greatest gift that a human being could ever have. So this teaching and this understanding is really important, and particularly for us because we are predestined. It's going to happen. We are predestined to bring forth this new dispensation. So let's dial in and get our instructions and move out. This is Brother Salih speaking to you, representing the Zep Tepe Institute. Once again, peace be with you. Have a good day.